Over the years, the fastest setup has changed, and performing Credits Warp has become less about taking the time to set up the necessary components to a near incomprehensible sequence of 41 seconds of gameplay, consisting of several frame-perfect and position-perfect inputs which make the warp possible. As speedruns of the category have gotten faster, the less consistent successful runs were. But in spite of this run's absurd difficulty, it's less than a minute, meaning that despite the impeccable precision required to complete a single run, you can always try again right away. Not to mention, it's performed in a simple, two-dimensional plane. But what if you were to perform something similar to this, but it was in the third dimension, where precise angles and coordinates could make or break the run? Ever since the fall of 2019, when Glitches and Stuff discovered stale reference manipulation, or SRM for short, speedruns of the N64 Zelda games haven't been the same since. This is by far the most powerful glitch in both Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and is incredibly complex, enough to warrant its own dedicated video on this channel in the near future. But to quickly summarize SRM, it allows you to manipulate the game's memory by performing specific actions before unloading a held object through the loading plane. This allows the reference of the unloaded object to become stale, and be filled in with another reference depending on position and angle. This is used in various speedruns to obtain several items much earlier than intended, as well as obtain glitchy items such as the F-boots, which normally aren't obtainable, and allow Link to float in the air from a side hop, and even wrong warp to different locations in the game, and even execute arbitrary code similar to Mario World. Various uses of SRM are used in several of the game's categories. The most infamous and volatile uses of SRM are performed in Ocarina of Time's 100% category, an incredibly brutal gauntlet filled with several difficult wrong warps, which are both position and angle perfect, and have shaved off half an hour out of a 3.5 hour run. Setups of these warps exist and are performed in full game runs, but the precision required to successfully nail these wrong warps is extreme, where the slightest positioning error could lead to a soft lock or the game crashing. This makes the speedrun incredibly unstable, meaning that until you reach the final Ganon fight, the run is always at risk of dying due to a crash or a soft lock. As daunting as this sounds, runners willingly run 100% with these incredibly tight setups and warps, as it's possible to learn and gain some level of consistency. Other speedrunners aren't so lucky, as is the case with Super Mario 64 120 Star. In the 120 Star speedrun, runners collect the star atop the house in Rainbow Ride alongside the 100 coin star. However, they must ride a magic carpet in order to reach the top of the house for nearly a minute. This is obviously slower than not using the carpet, but is consistent and safe. To reach the top of the house without the carpet is downright preposterous. To do so, you must pick up the Bob-omb atop the ship on the other side of the map, throw it and catch it while it's at its biggest size before exploding to stop the explosion and give Mario lots of backward speed. Mario is then navigated to a place where he can drop the Bob-omb in a precise manner to prevent it from ever exploding. Re-grab it while Mario is sliding off of a ledge to carry the Bob-omb without using his hands so he can use the majority of his moveset once more. While this is happening, he is continuously being pushed back, and with careful navigation, he can travel to a warp location which teleports him to the house's balcony. From there, Mario conserves the speed and can perform a complex series of glitchy wall kicks along a house in order to reach the star without the carpet. This strat was first implemented in a TAS in 2013, saving over a minute. Several years later in 2019, top runners such as Cheese were able to perform the trick using save states, but so far, only one person, Zaya, has successfully managed to perform carpetless on console without save states. This trick will likely be used in individual star speedruns, but will be considered way too difficult to go for in full game runs. Especially since there's several places where you can mess up, and it's during the final 5 minutes of the run too, so the risk heavily outweighs the reward. Throughout this video, I've gone over some pretty insane tricks, so I've saved the longest, most tedious, and mind-boggling glitch used in actual speedruns for last. Very recently in the Breath of the Wild speedrunning community, glitch hunter Legend of Link discovered a fascinating new glitch known as New Game Plus. This trick allows the Great Plateau tutorial to be skipped from a fresh save file, as well as allowing for several duplicated items, as well as the Bow of Light outside of the final boss fight with infinite ammo and godlike power. For long runs such as the infamous 100% speedrun, it easily saves over a couple of hours. The catch, however, is that the setup takes well over an hour, has to be performed before all the speedrun attempts in the categories that allow it, contains several frame-perfect sequences, all while losing the ability to save the game, and if you die during the setup, you have to start it all over again. Fellow lowest percent contributor and Zelda speedrunner Linka7 has an excellent video covering the setup in great detail, so if you'd like to know more details, I suggest you check that video out. This glitch is incredibly absurd, but incredibly useful too. As tedious and off-putting as it may sound to many, there have been some speedrunners who have been creating a new 100% route with New Game Plus, so expect to see a few people running the category with this trick in the near future. Speedrunning tricks can be incredibly hard at times. They can be so daunting and difficult that it'll prevent a vast majority of people from ever attempting these tricks. Yet, it's part of what makes speedrunning so great. The speedrunners who take their time to learn these glitches or complex movement do so out of the love for speedrunning, and push speedruns to not only become faster with each passing year, but to put on a fantastic show for the viewers at home, whether it be live at a charity marathon in front of thousands of viewers, or for the few people watching in a tiny obscure corner on the internet. People can interpret these glitch performances as either inspiring or intimidating. Which umbrella do you find yourself under? Would you attempt to perform some of these glitches for fun, or would you rather stick to the sidelines? Let us know in the comments section down below. Thank you to everyone who helped me with this video, and if you enjoyed today's episode of Lowest Percent, consider subscribing for some of the highest quality speedrunning content on YouTube. This has been Lunatic J, and thank you for watching.